Well, we're packing up to get out of town for a few days. Gotta get all that stuff in there. Do a little vehicle Tetris. Get everything ready, make sure we don't forget anything important. I got the fridge cooling and the solar generator charging. Got our propane for our little red campfire. So, should be pretty well set. Got all kinds of good stuff to eat and drink. And we're looking forward to meeting up with some friends out in the Jemez Mountains. When you're driving a stock height vehicle with no under protection, you have to be very careful how you pick your line. This 09 Tacoma has standard ride height and standard suspension, so I try to be very careful how I negotiate stuff like this. This one, I decided to ride low because there was a big rock shelf at the top. You'll see when we come back down that I chose a different line. Also, I made sure to turn off the roll sensing curtain airbags before we started up this one. The video really does no justice to how steep the upgrade is, and I'm making most of my decisions regarding trying to protect my differentials in the bottom of my truck. So, creeping up this thing, the Tacoma with no lockers in 4 low did great. I only had a couple times where I had wheel slip, mostly when I was on that steep side angle. But otherwise, this old truck does really well if you're a little bit careful and a little bit patient with it. So always keeping in mind the limitations of my vehicle and my driving ability, I make sure that I'm not in a big hurry to do anything, and I have no problem stopping and getting out and looking at the route ahead of time to try and plan the best line. Well, we made it up the road. A little bit hairy at times, but pretty fun drive. We got our camp mostly set up. We're here with some friends, a couple of Ford Raptors, and then of course the adventure truck. So you might wonder why Travis is getting into his tent with the truck running.
Don't leave your phone in your tent.
On the way back down, we had the advantage of already having seen the route once. And so I was able to choose my lines a little differently or more carefully. I also had to stop a couple times when I couldn't see past my hood on the steeper bits to see what line I wanted to take. So once again, care was on the menu as we head down the mountain. By this time, we didn't have friends nearby, so if I broke the truck, we were gonna be in a real spot. Fortunately, we recently purchased a Garmin InReach Mini 2 GPS and communication device, so if we found ourselves in trouble when we're out solo like this, we'd be able to reach out for help. I think it's a really good idea to have some form of communication or a very good plan. Leave your route and location with relatives or friends so that in the event that you don't show up when you're supposed to, they know where to look. The rock shelf at the top of this bit wasn't as big as it looked on the way up, and I was able to drive over it without high centering or scraping the bottom of the truck at all. And that allowed me to straddle this super deep rut instead of putting a wheel in it and going with the extreme angle option. This worked really well, especially with Sally on the camera and giving me good spotting to tell me what to do left or right to stay on that little ridge. Back in two-wheel drive now, and on our way to the hardtop, we decided to go the long way around the Jemez and have lunch in Santa Fe on our way home. Even though I grew up in New Mexico, this is one area I'd actually never been to, so this trip was a great opportunity to see some really spectacular scenery in a part of the state that's new to us. And that's one of the great things about overlanding, is it gets you out in your own state or in another state, seeing things that you might not see if you drove by on the freeway.